Hey guys, it's Tom here from Pro Direct Running, and as you can probably tell by the backdrop, we're not in our typical location for a video like this, and that's because at the time of recording, we're currently out in Budapest, Hungary with New Balance for the World Athletics Championships. Now, as well as seeing some incredible action on the track, we've also been lucky enough to get ourselves a pair of the brand spanking new 1080 version 13. I went out and run in them this morning in the sweltering hot city. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the updates and first run impressions of the new 1080 V13. Now, you probably don't need me to tell you that the 1080 franchise has been a staple in the daily trainer category and loved by runners from here to Timbuktu for many, many years. But with the 13th iteration of the shoe, we've got some seriously big updates, and spoiler alert, these are quite tasty. I should say as a quick disclaimer, at this present moment in time, we're still over a month from the release of the 1080 V13, and that means that the official numbers when it comes to things like stack height, weight, drop are not readily available. But I have been sent a tech sheet literally this morning with some of the biggest updates that you can find on the shoe. So without further ado, let's crack on and break down the 1080 V13. So first things first then, when you lace up the 1080 V13 for the very first time, one of the most overwhelming sensations is just serious levels of comfort. We've got a lovely stretchy upper which forms to the foot very nicely. The heel counter is pleasantly plush without being overdone and gives you a secure lockdown around the ankle and Achilles. And the fully gusseted tongue gives you just enough cushioning to avoid any unnecessary pressure on the top of the foot, as well as offering a nice amount of medial and lateral support. Now, as I said, we don't have any official numbers when it comes to the midsole of the 1080 V13, but it is abundantly clear that this is a brand new formulation of Fresh Foam X. It's much softer in hand and underfoot, and we've also got an increase in stack height from the previous version. Obviously, the market is flooded right now with big fat stack heights and really soft bouncy foams, but some of those shoes can be guilty of feeling a little bit mushy and bottoming out as the run goes on. But with the V13 on my run this morning, I didn't find that at all. And even by the end of the 45 minutes or so, I was still getting a really nice amount of softness underfoot and a well-balanced feeling of comfort and propulsion. Purely in the interest of transparency, I've worn a few previous versions of the 1080 before, mainly the 11 and 12. And although I enjoyed the shoes, they didn't find themselves a place in my rotation. However, I can say with a solid degree of confidence that even after only one run in this shoe, it's one that I'm going to want to be grabbing for those easy miles, those long runs, and even the odd steady or progression run. When it comes to the weight, again, I don't have any official numbers on this, but it feels super light in hand, and that translates to on-foot feel. And I had absolutely no issues picking up the pace a little bit for sections of this morning's run. Flipping the shoe over then and taking a look at the outsole, we've got a very similar rubber configuration to what you'd have seen on previous versions of the shoe. However, it seems like we've got a little bit more connection in the forefoot here, which appears just to add a little bit more rigidity in that forefoot area. And that's again going to aid with that propulsion and responsiveness at toe off. Durability hasn't previously been much of a concern for wearers of the 1080, and I don't think you're going to have any with the V13 either, with a solid amount of coverage here and a nice amount of thickness. In terms of the first run itself, it is unbelievably hot in Budapest at the moment. It was getting up to 30 degrees by the end of the run, and I was out there at 7:30 in the morning, and I didn't have any issues when it comes to comfort. Sometimes when you're running in those summer months, you can end up with hot spots and comfortable areas just from where the shoe has picked up a little bit of moisture. But I'm happy to say that even with a pretty plush upper like we've got here, I didn't find that to be the case with the V13. This is honestly one of the best cities I've ever run in, and I found a little island which has got a mixture of running track, trail and tarmac all the way around. It's about a 6K loop, and I tried to experiment a little bit going from the track to the tarmac and onto the dirt trails, and I found the shoe to feel very consistent across the board on those different surfaces, with no issues when it comes to things like grip and traction, as you'd expect and hope for on a dry day like today. New Balance are going for a very bold claim when it comes to the marketing of the 1080 V13, calling it the best running shoe in the world for everyone. And I think that basically just refers to the fact that it can do a little bit of everything. It's going to be super comfortable for runners like myself, to the elites and sub-elites, and even people who are running a 5 or 6 hour marathon. I think you're really going to enjoy this shoe, and it's a lovely sweet spot for a wide variety of different types of runner. Now, of course, having only run for about 45 minutes in the shoe, this is by no means a fully comprehensive wear test, but I'm very much looking forward to getting hundreds of miles on these bad boys, and I've got a feeling that they're definitely going to make their way into my regular running shoe weekly rotation. So if you're out there and you're looking for a daily mileage shoe that can do a little bit of everything, then I would definitely recommend taking a look at the New Balance Fresh Foam X 1080 V13. Anyway, that's just about going to do it for today's video. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to drop us a like, subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you never miss a future running upload. And if you're looking to get your feet in a pair of the New Balance Fresh Foam X 1080 V13, then you'll be able to do so very soon at Pro Direct Running.